Assalamu alaikum. My name is Bilal Kaleem and I am the president of the Islamic Society of Boston Cultural Center. My parents are from India. I grew up in New York, but the part of New York that I lived in, there were no big mosques. I mean, people prayed in the basement of an apartment building.
Age of 17, when I had, actually acquired the Quran, I wanted to visit a mosque or a center and I couldn't find one. It's a true story. I even looked in the yellow pages. Before the days of the computer, we used something called the yellow pages. So in many ways, my conversion was delayed because I was not able to find a house of worship or a center. And I just thought reading the Quran made me Muslim. I remember telling my girlfriend, hey, I'm Muslim. And she's like, how can you be Muslim? Look at your lifestyle. Muslims don't do this. And I was like, how do you know that? And she said, well, my uncle goes to the mosque. So I was like, where's the mosque? I can't find the mosque. Now this is really crazy. The mosque was actually right in front of my university. It had no sign. It wasn't listed in the phone book. So it just looked like a dentist office or something.
I came to Boston for college at MIT, at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. So when I came here to Boston, I had this image of Boston of being a place that really impacted the way the people in the world thought. I mean, you talk about schools like Harvard, MIT, Yale, just not too far away, Tufts, Wellesley, all these places. And so I came here seeking that type of sphere that I could engage in and learn from and hopefully make myself be able to have a positive impact on society. But when I got here, you had these various smaller mosques which were doing tremendous work but weren't hitting the radar of the broader American community. And so when I heard about this project, even when I was just an undergrad in college, that there's this large cultural center that was going to be built. It would have a mosque in it, but the impact and the goal is to really engage through culture, through faith, through the arts, through media, through outreach, with the opinion makers of America, with the regular people of America. I really wanted to be a part of that.
I'm not the type of person who goes to a place simply because the building's huge or nice or the facilities are really cool. I go to a place because the vision, no matter the size of the building or the structure, is really what shapes the outcome of the community. And the fact that the location of the masjid is the delta of two streams, the immigrant community and the indigenous American Muslim community. And that's very rare to find. And the idea that it's not only a mosque, but it's a cultural center. I think that's very important because when you label a building a mosque, then there are certain ahkam, there are certain rulings and principles that would restrict the type of things you can do in that facility. Not everyone out there is going to be touched by theology. That's just a reality. Theology is something that at times can be very controversial. But one of the best ways to reach the hearts of people is through the arts, or through sports, or through their hobbies.
And America really wants to know about Islam and Muslims. True, there's a lot of negative perceptions out there, but there's a lot more blank slates where people simply just don't know.
Someone might not be Muslim, but they like Islam and Muslims. They like the art of Muslims. They like the music of Spain. They like the cultural dress of Uzbekistan. So you're allowing people to come who are saying, look, I'm not coming here to convert. I'm not coming here necessarily to be missioned to, but I'm coming because I enjoy your community from a cultural or social aspect. The Arabs have an awesome, incredible hikmah that says, Adamul ma'rifa yufidu shidda, that not knowing about something well lends to fear. I think the greatest challenge we have as Muslims in America is to realize that we have to humanize ourselves.
Just in this last 2.5 years that this center has been open, there's literally been maybe about 70 to 80 news articles, TV, video, from the top that you can think of, CNN, NBC, ABC, to all the way down to print, the New York Times, the Boston Globe. When we reach out to academia, we build partnerships and relationships. For example, the Harvard Pluralism Project, which is the premier institute for studying religious pluralism in America, has a working relationship with us where every few months they bring some of the top interfaith leaders in America who are studying about religious pluralism. And when they're studying about Islam and Muslims, they come here to this center. Just this past, about 1.5 years ago, we completed a training program with the entire incoming class of the Boston Police. So about 200 officers went through this training learning about Islam and Muslims.
We actually have talked to our city councilman about doing something called safe walks for children in our city, because there are a number of areas of Roxbury, not all of the areas of Roxbury, where children basically have to GPS their safety to and from school. So we talked to our city councilman about having some of these community service volunteers who are doing community service in our mosque actually volunteer to walk children to and from school. Now, when I told the city councilman this, he said, "I like you people." And I said, "Why?" He said, "Because you're not only asking me what I can do for you, but you're telling me what you can do for our community." And the Prophet is rahmatul lil alameen and rahmatul muhda, as he said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He said, "I am a mercy to everything, and I was sent as a mercy." So that's a way that we embody mercy at a political level.
And now, alhamdulillah, we've really been blessed even more. Up to this point, we've had a tremendous building and a cultural center, but now we even have an imam to really fit the profile of this center. He is recognized across the entire world as one of the top American Muslim leaders. We have, on a daily basis, requests that come for him to speak at top institutions. So when we invest in this center, by engaging then with Imam Suhaib, this center will then be able to make that impact on thought, on opinions about Islam and Muslims across the world.
The other thing is the use of social media and the internet. We have, mashallah, convert brother Ryan, who's filming almost everything that we do, is put it up online. We have an active Twitter, we have an active Facebook, and these are the languages of this generation. This generation is the language of the internet, so trying to employ that also as best I can to serve the community.
And so he's motivating literally hundreds here in Boston and thousands, if not more, across the US to seek knowledge, to make a positive impact in their societies in America. And this is what we need in order to raise and have people understand what Islam and Muslims really are about. So in these past, 2 or 3 short years, we've been able to do a lot. But we've been doing it on a very tiny budget when it comes down to what we can actually accomplish. And it's not sustainable.
Our idea is that, 10, 15 years from now, we're not going to need your donation, because we're planning on building a waqf, a lent trust that will enable our community to become financially independent. We have independent membership, and then that leads into an independent financial institution that can serve the community on its own. We say in American slang, we can flip the money, where the money actually turns itself and begins to make money on its own.
We're looking to also establish the library and interfaith dialogue center that's always been a plan of this cultural center. That's the way to make an impact here and grow that impact of cultural outreach with the media, with interfaith leaders.
The second area is to create an institute for training Muslim American scholars that are able to keep the context of America in their scopes when teaching theology. Many times we have people teaching theology or the tradition or Orthodox Islamic teachings, but because they're not able to verbalize that in a way that's culturally relevant to the people here, it actually does more harm than good.
We can't have just one Imam Suhaib. America needs hundreds of Imam Suhaibs. This Imam Institute in this city of learning would work in partnership with, for example, the Harvard Divinity School, as well as a partnership with an Eastern institution such as Al-Azhar or such as Qatar University.
These are all things that people invest in. So when you're investing into ISBCC, I think it's important to understand you're not investing in a person, Suhaib Webb, or a group, but you're investing in the Risala Muhammadiyya sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You're investing in this prophetic message, because the prophetic office is an office that transcends religious affiliation, because prophets helped all kinds of people irregardless of their religion. You're investing in programs and instruments that are going to directly shape Islam and how it's seen in North America. You're funding some of the top thinkers of American Islam. You're funding some of myself, labeled as one of the 500 most important Muslims on the face of the globe. You're funding that effort, and that effort to speak to an ascetic which really has been neglected. So we're not asking for $3 million to do maybe the typical kind of things. We have the basis of life in America. We have clean water, we have clothes, we have housing for the most part. But what we are not able to do, because we're constantly busy worrying about taking care of the fundamentals of the community, is to traject a message out there. And God says that we were trajected to humanity. Ukhrijat linas, you were sent out for the benefit. Lam here is lamul fa'ida, which means for the benefit of humanity, Muslims were brought out. That benefit, as John Esposito, who is a brilliant professor in Georgetown, told me, that Muslims will not be able to shape discourse in America and touch people's lives until they do it through the mechanism of institutions. And institutions come through investment.
Because the time is now. This center has so much impact that it can make, and we would not like to see that potential wasted by staying simply at the level that we're at now. And so the time is now to make this difference